Hello everyone, this is Father Mathias and Father Joshua here at St. Pat's. We want to share with you a little bit more about why we started the St. Therese Guild for girls, and why we are now choosing to have, in a pastoral decision, our altar servers just to be boys. We want to remain having just boys being altar servers. So Father Joshua, explain to us about why is it that we started the St. Therese Guild?
Yeah, so the St. Therese Sacristan Guild, it's an opportunity for young women to be involved in helping prepare for the liturgy, to help set up the vessels, the linens, things like that. So assisting our sacristans in that. And we saw it as an opportunity to engage more young women in getting involved in helping out at Mass in this particular way, to help prepare the altar, to help prepare for the Mass, this most beautiful part of our liturgy. So looking for a way that more girls could be engaged, and for these younger girls to then receive mentorship and to walk with our older sacristans, to help them, but also to learn from them. I think it can be a valuable relationship for all involved to grow in their faith together. So,
Amen. And one of the more controversial parts of this is that we have decided to have altar boys or altar servers just to be boys. And the reason why we did this is primarily because girls and boys like to do things together. And we want to increase an awareness of vocations. And so we know that some boys don't want to altar serve when there are girls there. And we know that since the priesthood is reserved for men, Jesus chose men to become priests. And since altar serving is directly and intrinsically related to the priesthood, we wanted to go back to the noble tradition of the church to have just boys serve at the altar. In fact, it was only until 1994, or that was the case across the Universal Church. In 1994, the Holy See allowed girls to serve, but even more recently, the church recognized, and from the Holy See itself, encouraged us to, as priests and bishops as well, to honor the noble tradition of altar boys. And so that's something that we have a right to do, but it's something that we also recognize in this day and age is a very, very important thing for boys, especially as they consider the priesthood.
We've been receiving a few bits of feedback from people, and one common question is, kind of on the face value, people say, this seems a little bit maybe unfair to girls, or like, is something, are girls not good enough to serve? And kind of concerns like that coming from concerned parents, rightly so.
Yeah, and I talked to one parent who kind of had that frame of reference, as if somehow we were saying that girls were not good enough, or girls must not be worthy. In no way are we starting a ministry just for girls that is actually excluding boys, in any way saying that girls aren't good enough. What we're simply trying to do is we're trying to accentuate the connection between the priesthood and altar serving. And that is something that we see all throughout the tradition of the church. And so I was talking to this father in our school who simply wasn't aware of that connection, and he wasn't aware of what we were trying to do. What we're trying to do, again, is help form boys as boys, to have boys have an experience of serving together, giving them responsibility, helping them to look up to what we're trying to accomplish in the priesthood, where we're trying to encourage boys to consider the priesthood. We also wanted to engage girls in serving at the altar as well, but serving specifically helping foster this prayerful atmosphere and the preparation of the altar, which is itself a very, very powerful thing. And one of the things that we've been talking about is some of the priest friends that we know and some of the people we know who have only boy servers have a lot of servers. It actually helps increase the amount of service because boys want to do things with boys. It's a simple psychology with that. But also we know people who have sacristan programs just for girls, and the girls love it. And so what we wanted to do is just at this point in time, not saying that girls are not worthy, not saying that they're not good servers. In fact, sometimes you can say that girls are better servers than boys. Psychologically, they mature emotionally faster than boys. So it's nothing to do with that. It's just that we want to help prepare boys to consider what service as men looks like, serving the Lord, and possibly consider becoming priests.
We've also gotten a question or two from concerned folks wondering if women are going to then not be allowed to serve in other ministries, such as Eucharistic minister or lector. And I just want to answer any sort of
absolutely
concerns about that.
It didn't even cross our mind whatsoever to limit any of our ministries to just men. So this is just about altar serving. And we've got a lot of really good feedback from our parish. Some people were like, thank you so much for doing this. Because there's something intuitive about service at the altar with regard to the priesthood, and we want to recapture that. And so that's the real reason why we're doing this.
Yeah, I think as you mentioned, I think it's important to recognize that St. Pat's isn't unique in just having boy altar servers. Even in our local area, there's several parishes, as you mentioned.
Absolutely. We have parishes in our diocese who only have boy servers, and they have a lot of vocations. In fact, some of the parishes in our diocese who have the most seminarians only have boy servers. And we want to foster vocations to the priesthood. And one of the things that's so powerful is that when girls understand what we're offering to them in terms of the ministry, they get excited about it.
Yeah.
In fact, just on Friday when I was having Mass at the school, I was talking to a 5th grade girl and a 6th grade girl, and I told them about the St. Therese Guild, and they were like, that sounds great. Like, that sounds fun. Actually, I think that's what she said. That sounds fun. And so glad you have something for us. And neither of them batted an eye as if somehow this was some sort of injustice against them, because they get to serve as well, just in a different way.
So one thing that's come up is basically asking, why do you think it's hard for us today to see something that's just for boys, something that's just for girls, to see that as a good thing? Why do you think it's difficult in today's culture?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we live in a culture that has kind of blurred the distinction between boys and girls, and this idea of boys and girls being of equal dignity does not mean that they're the same. And so what we found is that sometimes the frame of reference with which we understand these kinds of opportunities to serve can sometimes come from a more kind of worldly perspective of seeing things in terms of justice, in terms of somehow if you have boys do one thing, it's an injustice to girls. But the fact is that the tradition of the church regarding altar serving has always been boys and men, because it's understood that Jesus chose men to become priests. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to take a frame of the world and project it onto the church as if somehow the church is being unjust, because those same kind of arguments can actually be used against the all-male priesthood, because people have in fact done that. They've rejected divine revelation because they somehow think it's unjust that Jesus only chose men. What we're simply trying to do is we're simply trying to say, hey, let's look at this from the church's perspective, from this noble tradition that the church encourages us to always honor, of having boys serving at the altar. And it's not just because only boys can become priests, but because it's a way by which we can help form young boys to become men, to truly be servants of God, to practice discipline and to help them to grow and to be engaged in their faith. So for any of you who have young boys, this is actually a very good thing. And we just found that when girls are involved, girls, because they're more emotionally mature at times, will take leadership. The boys begin to kind of grow cold and don't want to be involved. And so this, again, is a pastoral decision. We're not saying that any other parish that is doing something different is wrong. We're just simply saying, following a lot of leaders in the church, including a cardinal recently, who said to his diocese, his archdiocese, that he's not allowing girls anymore. This just happened last month. What we're simply doing, we're following this tradition. We're going to emphasize this for the good of the boys, and God willing, for the good of more priests in our diocese.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's not just here at St. Pat's, but even the director of worship for the Diocese of Lansing, as well as the vocation director, both really encourage boys serving and that opportunities allow boys to have this place of being able to serve at the altar, because it does lead to more boys discerning the possibility of being a priest. So where do we go from here? How could a parent who's interested in getting their kid involved go forward with this, and what's kind of the vision going forward for the guild and for our server program? Yeah,
our new server program called Serviam is a program that's gonna continue to grow. We're gonna continue to invest in relationships and create greater service opportunities within the servers. We want to grow the servers to have more servers at Mass and serving more often. And so that's something we're going to do. Father Joshua is going to be recruiting more altar servers for the boys. But we're also in this period right now, we're really recruiting girls to serve in this sacristan ministry, to be little junior sacristans or sacristan assistants like St. Therese, to really offer themselves and their love and their service to the liturgy in these ways. And so if you want to have your daughter get involved, if you want to have maybe your granddaughter involved, please contact Carlene Demers. You can email her, and then we have some orientation dates that are available for that as well. Thank you so much for watching this short video. If you have any questions, as always, please ask Father Joshua or myself about this. We're excited about what the Lord is doing in our parish, and we really believe that moving in this direction will really help our parish form our young people, our young girls and boys in the ways of the Lord. Amen.
Amen. God bless.